Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to another Bajo video. Thank you for joining us. We so appreciate you. We are Bajo. We are the home of self-care and wellness. That's what we do. Self-care, wellness, and beauty. Because when you take care of yourself and you're well, ain't that the most beautiful thing in the world? Taking care of yourself is beauty. It is the most beautiful thing I have ever witnessed. And so that's what we do here. We focus on self-care and just work on giving you tips and tricks and different things. We'll be talking about things from wellness and health and stress. We even have some beauty tips, some hair ideas, and some whatever it is that's going to help you to become the best version of yourself. That's what we do here. Hello. The home of self-care. That's who we are, Bajo. We thank you so much for joining us today. I want to jump right in, and I want to discuss, we've been discussing peace for a little while, but I want to talk about peace disruptors. I want to talk about those things that once you have established your sense of peace and you're good and you feeling like you have this thing under control, and then you have these disruptors that come in. There's always going to be something to try to disrupt your peace. I need you to get comfortable with that. It's what it is. It's yin and yang. Always. It's hot and it's cold. It's up and it's down. It's in, it's out. You always going to have the opposites. I think that's the law of polarity, if I'm not mistaken, where you're going to always have these polar extremes. It's like from one end to the next, it's like it's going to be two different sides of the coin of every situation. Every situation is always going to be. So if you're trying to establish peace, you got to have your disruptor. It's a given. And so I want to just discuss with you today some of those things that just come to disrupt your peace. And I feel like when you got your guard up, or one of the best war strategies, and I say this all the time, is to know your opponent's angle. If you know the way that your opponent is going to come for you, in your own strategy, you build defenses that's going to thwart whatever it is that they're coming with, because you're already aware. So whenever you are focused on establishing your peace, or up in the ante with your self-care, or learning something new, or becoming a better version of yourself, just know that there are going to be obstacles. And at this point in my life, I'm good with that. I see you down south. Down south, somebody I used to know, they used to say, yeah, I seen it before it first pulled up. I seen you. That's what you got to say to your disruptors. Like, I see you. I see you before you arrived. They used to say, I seen it before it first pulled up. That means I'm already aware. And that's the best defense anybody could take. So I just want to go over a couple of these disruptors that can kind of destroy, upset that which is going on inside of you, that peaceful place that's inside of you. So number one is stress. And this is, I can promise you, I can guarantee it, like the sun is going to set and the sun is going to rise. Stress is a part of all of our lives. From one angle to the next angle, you have levels of stress. Stress is what it is. It's stress. It's going to happen. It's happening. It will happen. That's it. And once you start to learn how to understand your stressors, those things that's coming to take a toll on you, because see, you got different types of stress. You got everyday daily stress, and then you got that prolonged stress that can take a toll on your body physically and mentally. And When you learn how to manage stress, you already know that this is coming and that is coming. You have to learn how to manage your stress. For me, when I start seeing things get me like breathing heavier, or not even breathing heavier, but just inside, I feel like my anxiety levels increasing. I have learned how to walk away, or if I'm in a discussion and it's getting heated, I learned how to shut my mouth. I don't have to win arguments anymore. I used to have to win an argument. I want to be right all the time. I want to get my point across. But if it costs me my peace, you can have it. It is a price I'm not willing to pay. That's what I'm trying to say. You have to decide what you're willing to pay for the things that you are trying to achieve in the name of winning an argument or getting your point across. What are you paying for that? Everything has a cost. Everything. And in my life, what I have learned is most of the things that I have fought so hard for in terms of me being right or me having to get my point, it's not worth it. It ain't worth it. That is it. It ain't worth it. And when you learn how to manage stress, you are building a defense against your peace. I know when I exercise regularly and when I start to blocking out, when I'm effectively managing my time, we all only have 24 hours in a day. What you do with yours, what I do with mine, that's my business. But when you have a sense of what's happening in your day and you're managing your time so much better, it keeps the stress at bay. I promise you. Those things, they stress us. They stress. And it's like, what for? If you're working to establish peace in your life, you have to find ways to manage stress. And like I said, at the top of my list, I ain't always got to be right. A lot of things I cannot control. Some stress is going to come into your life and you have no control over it. But what you do have control over is meditating on the stress. They say whatever you meditate on becomes larger and it becomes more exasperated. I refuse to meditate on stress. I'm going to block my mind. I'm going to do things to block that out of my mind as long as I can until a new thought starts to form. Because I realize it's my responsibility. I can't take a pill. I can't expect nobody to do it for me. So stress is number one peace disruptor. Number one. Number two is negativity. Being in negative environments. First, I'm going to come to two negative environments that I'm going to talk. Internal and external. When you constantly are toying with this barrage of negative thoughts, you sabotage yourself before you even start. You sabotage. We have to get a control over our thoughts because our thoughts poison us from within. That's the most lethal kind of poison. Not the poison that I eat or drink, but the poison that's rising up from within me from my thoughts. I am responsible for what I think. I'm gonna give people a pass a lot of times. I'm gonna give you a pass because I don't want to think negatively because that's gonna disrupt my peace. You see what I mean? It's like you have to literally protect your peace from inside out. Why am I thinking this way? Does this way of thinking serve me? No. So from inside, you got to deal with the negativity. From the outside, you have people, we all know that can disrupt our peace. They come in because they got a war going on inside of them. And they come and they vomit that war, and they vomit all of the stress and the aftermath of that war onto you. And here you go, rolling in your stress because it's contagious. That energy, they pass that energy. They say energy is neither lost nor destroyed. It's only transferred from one place, one party to the next, right? Energy, neither lost nor destroyed. Just transferred. That's what happens. Transfer. And when you have negativity around you like that, if you're in a place and you cannot remove yourself from that place, because my first thing is to remove yourself, but it could be your job, it could be your household, it could be your place. You have to create a mental barrier. You create a mental barrier in that I cannot change what's going on around me, but I can change what's going on within me. I could change how I respond to this. This takes some work because I've done this before. I've been in, oh my God, I've been in some toxic nonsense. And I literally had to build a resistance to the things that was happening around me. And I literally had to go into like a whole nother space mentally. So that now that the things that I'm seeing that normally would annoy me and the things that would stir me up, it no longer happen. And you know what? And I'm gonna say that. That's one thing I can say. When you pray and you ask God to fortify you beyond what you yourself could do, I'm telling you, God will give you a grace to be able to it'll be stuff happening around you and you just looking at it like, wow, you'll start to feel sad. And you know what? Another thing I used to do to deal with the negative situation or the negative environment that I was in, I began to pray for the people. It is so weird. Somebody had suggested that to me when I was going through this years ago. And I was like, what? That makes no sense to me. But something activates when you begin to pray for somebody who tried to oppress you or an oppressive situation. Right? You begin to pray for that person, and there's something inside of you that shifts. And it was so powerful, and I was so grateful to this person. I think it was somebody who was going to my church at the time. And it really, really, really changed me. It changed that situation. Not that the negativity got better, but the way I responded to it, it no longer disrupted my peace. So I was able to build a mental wall that fortified me in those situations. It was amazing. Another thing, I'm gonna give you two more things that will disrupt your peace from the rooter to the tutor. If you're in a relationship and it's toxic, that can destroy your peace so bad. Because the relationship is taking and not adding. In a healthy relationship, there is a good level of reciprocity in that there is such give and take. People are giving, people are taking, people are giving, and it's like a nice balance of give and take, right? When you're in a toxic relationship, it's like it's one way. It's like you're being sucked dry. You're being sucked dry of your joy, your peace, your happiness, your vision, your creativity, your motivation, your energy. You're sucked dry. that can disrupt your peace like nothing ever before. And the thing about relationships is we choose relationships. We choose who we're going to be with. We choose who we're going to be around. We choose. So in terms of a relationship, you have options. You have options. Sometimes when you're in a toxic relationship, you could talk to the person and let them know how it's making you feel and give them ultimatums. And the purpose of an ultimatum is to make good on your ultimatum. Don't go throwing ultimatums out there and then you don't honor it. Or don't throw ultimatums out there if you're not really ready to remove yourself from that situation. It could be a intimate relationship. It could be family relationship. It could be friendships, childhood friendships. It could be any relational connection. But toxic dynamics. You have to learn how to set boundaries. And if boundaries cannot be set and respected, you have no relationship for real. But a toxic relationship can break your peace in half, crush it, pulverize it to bits, and turn it into ashes and throw it into the Atlantic Sea, Atlantic Ocean. Toxic relationship would destroy you. And last but not least, excessive responsibility. You got too much going on. You're doing too much. When you got so much going on that you can't even breathe, you're doing too much. In this season of my life, God has dropped in my spirit to really focus. He's been saying it to me for a long time. But I'm a busy bee anyway. I keep it pumping. But in this season of my life, God is really telling me to focus. Because sometimes being busy is an addiction. You're addicted to being busy. But busyness does not equate to effectiveness. Busy does not mean effective. Sometimes our bodies, our minds just got to be constantly moving, going. And we feel like we're being productive, but you're really not. When I look at all of the busyness and all of the times that I've been all over the place and here, there, whatever, and I look at the results, I have some results, but it's not on the scale of how busy I was. Because it was just me being addicted to the busyness, the movement of the thing. Got to do this, got to do this, got to do that. Sometimes you could be more productive by just stopping, focusing on that one thing and getting it done. When you have excessive responsibilities, that can disrupt your peace so fast. Because you want peace. You're too busy going to the next thing to even take a moment to breathe. Peace? That don't exist. Peace? Nah. Peace? And one more bonus disruptor of your peace is digital overload. Technology is fantastic. It's helping me to be here and speak to millions of people right now. It's beautiful. However, you have to set boundaries. You cannot be on your computer, on social media. You can't be in the digital world all the time. That's not reality. I know we have this what do you call it? The virtual world now. What do you call it? The virtual world. It's like when you're in these spaces that's like virtual all the time. That's not reality, people. That serves its purpose and is good for what it's good for. But sometimes you got to take a break from this digital world, this social media, this always, because my thing is, from what I see, it's overstimulation. And it doesn't give you a chance to process your own thoughts or make your own valid contribution without being informed by everything else that's around you. It stimulates you too much. And it breaks your peace. It disrupts your peace. You got to set boundaries around your technology use. You practice digital detoxes. Just like with our bodies, it's good to do certain detoxes. Listen, I'm only going to eat this. I'm only eating fruits. I'm only eating vegetables. Certain detox. I'm drinking this much water. Certain detoxes that we choose to do for our bodies. You got to do digital detoxes too. Listen, I ain't cutting this thing on. If it ain't about work, I'm not spending this much time, or set blocks of time. I'm only going to spend this much time on technology. I'm only going to, learn how to engage in offline activities. There was a time we didn't have all this computer stuff and we were just fine. And it is the world that we live in. It is the world that we live in now. However, we are human beings. We need social connection, and we need to be able to think on our own. And I mentioned all of these disruptors because these are things that happen every day without permission. This digital world, these different things, they come into your life without permission. And in order for you to recognize and to set boundaries and fortify yourself against these disruptors, you have to be able to recognize what they are and then discipline yourself. It's nothing like self-discipline. You have to give yourself blocks of time. Like, nah, I'm not going to do that today. Today, Friday, I'm not doing it this day, or whatever. However you want to form it, you form that. You form it the way you want to form it, but let it serve you. It's nothing wrong with offline activities. Nothing wrong. Sometimes we need it. We really, really need it because we do too much. It's too much going on. And you never can be at a place of peace because there's always something going on. And I only named a few things here today, but guess what? It's so many micro disruptions that, if you got a lot of micro disruptions all day, a little notification here, bing, 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 bing. Collectively, it's one great disruption. I just want to thank you so much today. I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share these things. And again, every time we're sharing and I'm sharing, when I'm speaking to you, trust, it's coming right back to me, triple and quadruple fold. And I'm grateful for it, actually, because it helps me to get better. It helps me to get better. This is Bajo. We are the home of self-care and wellness. And we thank you so much for joining us. Feel free to share these messages with your friends. Like, subscribe, share. If you're listening to us on podcast, give us a download. Just listen to us and just give us a comment. Send us a message. We love messages. We love messages because we want to know, what we're saying. Is it impacting you? Is it something else you want us to talk about? Or however, it's a community. It's definitely a community. And I just thank you so much today for listening. And I just wanted to sign off with my regular saying that self-care is the best care. Later.